Chances are you have heard of the Metaverse, and whether you think this is the coolest thing ever, or you think it is a portal to the Matrix, it's tough to deny the fact that this is going to turn into an entirely new sector of our economy. And what that means is there is money to be made here. So today let's briefly talk about what the heck the Metaverse is, and run through the top 5 best investments that you can make right now to earn some insane returns as the Metaverse starts to boom in popularity over the next few years. Alright, let's jump right into it. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So just recently, Facebook announced that they would be rebranding as Meta Platforms, and while there are certainly some external factors that probably influence that decision, they've made it very clear that they are investing heavily in this space and believe that this is truly the future of the internet. But even if you've heard chatter about the Metaverse, you may still be wondering, what the heck is this? Well, I'm certainly no expert, and it's not really the topic of today's video, but in a nutshell, this is basically believed to be the next iteration of the internet that will utilize a combination of different technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and other things of that nature, allowing us to live and work in a blended digital and physical world. I know that that sounds insane, and honestly it's a little bit hard for me to wrap my head around it myself, but regardless of how you feel about it, number one, it's coming, and some would say that it's already here, and number two, this will lead to a booming sector of our economy that is really entirely new, and many believe that it could actually be worth several $1 trillion by 2030. And that's largely because within the Metaverse, you'll be able to buy digital assets just like you buy in the physical world, not to mention the immeasurable opportunity for things like NFTs and other digital goods, but this can all feel a little bit confusing and overwhelming. So where can you invest your money today to earn some insane returns in the coming years? Well, I've selected 5 different options that I'm personally investing my money in, but as always, we are going to be talking about specific stocks that you could absolutely go out and buy yourself. But just because I am talking about them does not mean that they are necessarily a great investment for you. You know the drill, but always do your own research and understand what you are investing in and why before you go throwing your money at something just because some guy on the internet talked about it, because trust me, I know absolutely nothing. Alright, so with that out of the way, the first and probably easiest way to invest within the Metaverse and companies that are investing in the Metaverse is actually through an ETF from Roundhill Investments, and that would be their Metaverse ETF. Now, at the moment, this is the only Metaverse-related ETF that I was able to find, but I'm sure this sort of thing will grow in popularity. But for the time being, the Roundhill Investments Metaverse ETF keeps it really simple and gives you a unified way to invest in multiple different companies that are major players and will continue to be major players in the Metaverse industry. Now, the downside of all of this is that the availability in terms of purchasing this particular ETF is very limited, and right now the expense ratio is incredibly high at 0.75%, but if you just want a really simple way to invest in the Metaverse industry from a company that has done a ton of research on their own, then the Roundhill Investments Metaverse ETF might be the best option for you. But you could also just take a look at their top holdings within this particular ETF, and many of the companies that are actually in those top holdings are a few of the investments that we're going to talk about in a second, so I guess that's a good sign. Alright, but outside of that ETF, the next place that could be a fantastic Metaverse investment would be Nvidia, which is ticker symbol NVDA. Nvidia is a graphics processing manufacturer and designer out of California, but among other things, they recently announced major expansions of their Omniverse enterprise platform, which they have originally beta launched back in December. And essentially, this platform is a simulation and collaborative tool that allows for physically accurate 3D virtual worlds. Now again, that's getting a little bit more in the weeds than I care to get with the Metaverse and is not the topic of today's video, but in terms of a stable investment, many believe that Nvidia's technology could be the platform that the Metaverse economy is largely built upon. And obviously, as a result, Nvidia stock would greatly benefit from that. In the past 6 months alone, the stock has increased over 100%, and its quarterly revenue growth and net income have been very stable and healthy over the past few years. So if you believe in the Metaverse and all that this new industry could become, then the Nvidia Corporation is definitely a stock that I would check out. Next up is a company whose technology has been implemented in our physical world for years, but could have incredible potential in the metaverse as well, and that would be Matterport, which is ticker symbol MTTR. If you don't know, Matterport creates 3D camera technology that is essentially used to scan physical objects and then create a digital and virtual version of that object. Now, in the past, this has been largely used for things like real estate. So, for example, a real estate agent could scan a room with the Matterport technology, and then their software could turn that into a virtual model that could be shown to clients. But obviously, this technology could be incredibly useful with something like the metaverse by taking physical objects in our physical world and putting them into the metaverse. Their financials have not been quite as solid as Nvidia's over the past few months, but strictly looking at the stock price, they are also up almost 100% over the past 6 months alone, and with a market cap of over $5 billion currently, it's very likely that their technology will be used to help build the metaverse, and therefore this could be another fantastic investment. We have one more investment to look at before we get to the best metaverse investment by far, but coming in at number 4 would be a company that's more focused on the software side of things, and that would be Unity Software, which is ticker symbol U. Unity is known for their software that allows developers to create and monetize games across multiple different platforms, and right now about 60% of all VR and AR games are currently created using the Unity software. But recently they have shown a huge interest in metaverse technology, and they actually recently purchased the company Metaverse Technology, which is a 3D optimization software company. So obviously that acquisition in combination with Unity's current software means that Unity is really positioning themselves to be a key player in creating this digital universe. Now, in terms of revenue growth, this company is very healthy, but they are spending so much money on research and development that a loose glance at their financials would actually show that they are a little bit shaky. That being said, just because they are not turning a profit is not really a concern in my opinion, because a company that is willing to invest so heavily in themselves and their own technologies is really a good sign that they truly believe in their ability to take a stronghold of this new sector of our economy. Similar to the past two stocks, Unity has seen a growth of over 100% in the past 6 months, and with a market cap of over $56 billion currently, they definitely have the cash cushion to invest heavily within the metaverse for the coming years. And lastly, coming in at number 1 for the best investment by far if you want to invest in the metaverse would be Meta Platforms, which is formerly known as Facebook. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Facebook is rebranding as Meta Platforms, and it's clear that they see a ton of value and potential in the metaverse, considering they have been investing $5 billion per year in meta-related technologies. They recently bought Oculus for $2 billion, and 20% of Facebook's current workforce, which is about 10,000 employees, are currently working on AR and VR-related devices. Obviously, Facebook is a gigantic company with some skeletons in the closet, but regardless of your opinions on all of that and this rebrand, it's clear that Mark Zuckerberg and his team at Facebook understand social trends, and if they are investing so heavily in this space to the point that they are rebranding one of the largest technology companies in the world, then I think that it's safe to assume that the metaverse is likely going to have some major impacts on our daily lives. What this will look like for Facebook themselves is really unclear at this point, and it's honestly tough to say, but like I said, the metaverse is meant to be a blend of the physical and digital worlds, and some would argue that Facebook and other social media platforms are already an example of that. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 best investments that you can make right now in the metaverse that could easily give you 100x returns or more in the coming years. Again, this is really meant to be the next major iteration of what we know as the internet, and while I don't expect this to be the next dot-com bubble, we saw what happened with many of the stocks in the early 2000s, and it would not surprise me if many of the companies that we just talked about saw similar growth in the coming years as they continue to invest and grow with metaverse technology. So I would love to know what you think of all of this metaverse craziness down in the comment section below, and what companies you are investing in to earn some crazy returns from this strange new digital world. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, the easiest way to do that is actually by checking out some of my favorite financial tools down in the description below, including one offer from the Points Cashback debit card that'll currently give you $100 when you open your account and make your first purchase, so definitely check that out using the link down below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future, and of course, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.